Coming up tonight, 9 people have been freed from gunmen in PINYIN as the military intensifies its crackdown to protect the PATYCHOU stretch of road. Clients are raising complaints that the power company, the Energy of Cameroon, ENEO, does not care about their well-being as supply is interrupted regularly without any forewarning. And inhabitants of Ngaoundéré are set for Monday's inauguration of their new sports facility by the Minister of Sports and Physical Education. The details right now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
An operation to protect the PATYCHOU stretch of road, usually subject to frequent attacks from gunmen, has resulted in the release of 9 captives in PINYIN, Santa subdivision. 2 of the armed captors died in the operation and the military received weapons and ammunition. Details with Eric Langma Wufo in Bamenda.
Freed at last are reunited with their families once again after spending sleepless nights in captivity. His ear was cut off by armed men when he refused to join them in the bushes.
All day they move me collars 50, 60 big collars under my foot.
The armed men stormed the Matazam neighborhood on April 11th and kidnapped them to a locality in PINYIN village. Here, they were living under deplorable conditions.
We were sleeping on the floor. There was no, if you want to urinate, you urinate only in a container. If you want to go to the toilet, you only use a wrapper.
Defense and security forces, in their moves to secure the PATYCHOU road, stormed the Asukam in PINYIN village and freed 9 hostages in the process.
The people have to be vigilant. If they see, some people or some movement, they have to inform the defense and the security forces.
The operation to secure the PATYCHOU road is still ongoing, and the defense and security forces have already neutralized 2 armed separatist fighters and confiscated arms and ammunition in the process.
The journey to eternity of Christian Cardinal Tumi begins in Douala tomorrow with the laying in state of the prelate at the Douala Military Hospital at Bonanjo at 11 a.m. The first Requiem Mass will be said at 12:30 in several Catholic churches in the nation's economic capital. 2 other masses will be said at 4 p.m. and at 8 p.m., while choral groups will be animating throughout the day. According to a release signed by Archbishop Samuel Kleda of the Douala Archdiocese, the activities will continue on Tuesday. In the meantime, Catholic faithful have been organizing prayers for the late Cardinal in the nation's economic capital. A special church service to commemorate the Silver Jubilee of the Covenant Baptist Church in Chinga, Yaoundé has taken place today. The church is affiliated to the Cameroon Baptist Convention. Activities on the core values of the church will be organized during this week to crown the festivities. Romeo Kenya has the rest of that story.
The joy is enormous. It's been 25 years the Covenant Baptist Church has been existing in Chinga, Yaoundé. Over 700 persons now worship here. The theme of the Silver Jubilee is celebrating God's victory. The inspiration is gotten from Psalms 126, verses 1 to 4. On March 10, 1996, only 40 people praised God in this chapel.
Do not get discouraged when you are going through trials. Do not get discouraged when you are going through troubles, because when you hold on to the Lord, no matter the challenges, you are going to have a breakthrough.
Aside the center region, the Covenant Baptist Church is today spread across the far north and east regions.
Being a Christian is not a bed of roses. there are challenges that you must go through. And because we are standing firm in the Lord, we could go through those challenges.
Speaking at the church service, the executive president of the Cameroon Baptist Convention, Reverend Dr. Charlemagne Diteme, told faithful to be steadfast in prayers and keep working for the growth of the church.
Christians of the Fako South Presbytery of the PCC have been exhorted to be peace bearers, assiduous, and be blessings to their communities while contributing to the growth of their church. The message was re-echoed during the 39th edition of the Temple Choir Annual Rally in Limbe. Tanjon Levis Agbo reports.
It is with an oath to diligently carry out the pastoral ministry in caring for the flock while respecting church authority that the chief shepherd is instituted and inducted as the Presbyterial Secretary for Fako North Presbytery alongside Parish Pastor for Boyotown Parish.
Step up door-to-door evangelization, pay home visits to the Christians. This is one aspect of it, is to not wait for the Christians to meet you in the office or in church, but also to go out and meet them in their various situations in life.
Preaching from Jeremiah, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, called on the new chief shepherd for Fako North Presbytery to serve as an outstanding servant.
What we expect now is God ministrations through the power of the Holy Spirit in the life of the man of God who has just been inducted, and we trust that God will fall afresh on him through the power of the Holy Spirit and enable him to go forth into the world and win more souls for Christ.
PCC moderator also commissioned the Christians of Fako North to assist their new boss in discharging his duty, as well as to build the church through prayers.
We are very sorry for that hitch there, and we shall be coming back in subsequent editions of our news on the report on the activities of the Temple Choir Association that were observed in Limbe over this weekend. And we continue religion and move to the East region, where some youths in the town of Beto have taken advantage of the high demand of some foodstuffs and other basic necessities to make a brisk business during the 1-month Ramadan fasting period. Tala LT reports that most of these traders gather daily around mosque and other popular Muslim neighborhoods to catch as many customers as possible. His report.
Fruits, vegetables and other food items which are highly solicited during the month of Ramadan feature among others around mosque and other popular Muslim neighborhoods in the town of Betwa.
I sell rice balls, wheat balls and other food items. Sometimes I sell for up to 22,000 francs before the 6 p.m. prayer.
Date palms, carpets, Korans and other items have also increased in demand during this 1-month fasting period.
Business is good, unlike other months. You know, the month of Ramadan is a blessed one. We sell Korans for 5,000, 8 and 15,000 francs respectively.
Youths in Petwa and other businessmen are taking advantage of this month-long fasting to make as much money as they can from Muslim faithful.
The frequent power cuts in Cameroon have become sickening to consumers who decry the attitude of the energy suppliers towards them. They complain that Energy of Cameroon, ENEO, seems to be working as an entity that cares less about its clients, who sometimes go for days without power and are not forewarned. Yoti Kaleli Songe got the pulse of users in Yaoundé. Her report.
Emotions pour out on the electricity situation in the country. Frequent power cuts and unconscionable electricity bills. Consumers are tired.
To stay for some time with blackout, it doesn't speak well at all. Customers, maybe they have their items, maybe in their refrigerators, in their fridges, and so the things get spoiled. When there's no power, the bills are so exorbitant.
What's more, users complain that energy service providers have a communication problem.
If there was even a situation where maybe they want to do some cuts, they should announce, let people know.
Imagine that you stay for 2, 3, 4 days, no light and no information and nothing that says nothing to customers. With me, I think the services of New, it's a company that we need to even to close in Cameroon.
Sometimes utility poles cannot withstand strong winds, and it becomes the user's problem.
In my house, wind fell down the pole, and it lied up about 2-3 days. And we discovered that it was risky. We, the neighbors, had to raise money, call the private agent in the quarter who bought us a pole, feed that pole, and do the connection.
This tire mechanic is beyond consolation.
I work with electricity. What do we do when there is power cut and I do pay taxes? What do you want?
While this welder complains that he can't meet deadlines because power supply has become a rare commodity, consumers therefore wonder amongst themselves if the customer is king. Efforts to get in touch with Energy of Cameroon were in vain.
Because of the recurrent power cuts and abusive interruptions in supply, clients who do not know what to do often turn to attack ENEO workers. But the Electricity Sector Regulatory Agency is a whole entity put in place by the state to protect clients. Beatrice Ngum reports on the role of ARCEL as a regulatory agency.
A squabble between a consumer and an ENEO agent. The contestation seems genuine, but the procedure is wrong. The suspension of the supply of electrical energy to customers suspected of fraud, slamming of penalties on consumers who falsify the meter indicators, among all other acts of fraud, taking electrical energy outside the quantities measured by the meter are punishable. But how to proceed must be in compliance with the law governing the electricity sector. And when the law is breached, the regulator comes in to shed light as stipulated in its mission. According to Article 72 on the missions assigned to ARCEL, the regulator has to ensure that access to the network takes place under objective, transparent, and non-discriminatory conditions. It has to protect the interest and rights of consumers with regards to prices, quality, and the tariff system, as well as settle disputes between operators in the electricity sector and customers at the request of a complaining party, amongst others. Until hurdles between parties are settled, ENEO has no right to interrupt the supply of electricity in the said home.
Cameroon has received a shipment of over 391,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine through COVAX a week after the country got 200,000 doses of Sinopharm jab from China. The AstraZeneca shot will help protect healthcare workers and vulnerable populations against COVID-19. This is according to Cameroon's Public Health Minister. Salisona Tafaha was at the official reception ceremony at the Yaoundé Similar International Airport yesterday. Her report.
Smooth landing for a life-saving takeoff for Cameroon's vaccination drive against COVID-19. Close to 400,000 AstraZeneca vaccines to protect healthcare workers and vulnerable groups of the population arrived the country through COVAX, a global scheme to ensure fair access to inoculations for low and middle-income states.
Vaccine do not protect people, but it's vaccination. We need to get the vaccine in the arms of the people, and as quickly as possible, as many people wanting the vaccine as possible.
The arrival of the vaccine is a critical moment for Cameroon, Public Health Minister says. The inoculation package comes at a time when the country has officially recorded over 65,000 cases and close to 1,000 deaths. In the meantime, Cameroon's international partners took turns to lay emphasis on their commitment to the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a stitch in time as the AstraZeneca vaccine comes a week after the arrival of 200,000 doses of Sinopharm vaccine from China. Cameroon expects more vaccine shipments in the coming days.
The ANDEC Council in the Northwest region will function on a budget of over 1 billion CFA francs this year. Councillors plan to rehabilitate roads, improve electricity and water, and construct classroom in the subdivision where ANDEC is located. ANDEC Mayor Obango Heli says the council will succeed if locals cooperate. Orla Titanke reports from Bamenda.
These are the 17 municipal councillors out of the 25 who answered present for their council session. Their focus is to evaluate their successes and challenges in implementing the 2020 earmarked project. The mayor of the council disclosed that despite the security challenges, they are satisfied with the execution rate.
2020 Ngi was 100% with all our big projects.
Their focus this year will be on the electrification and rehabilitation of some roads in the area.
The concreting of the very difficult sections of the road from Scanwater down to Andek. A 3-phase electrification of Ngi. We are talking close to 1 billion francs to be invested.
Andek is the chief town of Ngi subdivision in Momo division. It has a population of over 18,000 inhabitants who largely rely on agriculture for a source of livelihood.
The association Young Patriots with Paul Biya Japabi has donated a consignment of anti-COVID-19 kits to traders of Mbamayo market in the central region. The gesture is aimed at curbing the coronavirus spread in public spaces where there is a high risk of propagation of the deadly virus. Gilbert Ongene was there.
At a time when the coronavirus is ravaging lives across the country and beyond, the Young Patriots with President Paul Biya Japabi thought it wise to reach out to the most exposed and vulnerable to the disease.
We decided that let us choose the places that have a high population density like markets. So we have been going to various markets. A month ago we went to the Center for Persons with Disabilities.
Apart from handing out face masks, soaps and buckets to these market women, they also preached the message of the respect of barrier measures.
We are calling on the populations of Mbamayo to be responsible, because it is only responsibility that can lead them to keep away from the virus, which is the coronavirus. So we call on them that respecting the barrier measures is the sense of responsibility.
The traders, through their representative, Mama Awulbi Bernadette, are full of praises for Japabi. They have promised to put the items to good use so as to limit the spread of the coronavirus.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Sinopharm vaccines that were recently received from China to help stop the spread of COVID-19 have been dispatched to several hundred vaccination centers in Cameroon. Where are the vaccines found and who can rush there to be inoculated against the deadly virus? Let's join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Center with updates. Baldwin?
Good evening. After having an idea for the different vaccination centers available in the different regions of the country, now Cameroonians need to know the number of doses of the Sinopharm vaccine distributed as per the different regions of the country, with the central region of Cameroon having the highest number of doses of the vaccine, with 43,440 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine just for the central region of Cameroon, closely followed by the littoral region of the country with 34,380 doses. The far north region is third with 24,640 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine they are sent to that part of the country. Each of the regions is actually concerned. Each of the regions has at least a number of these vaccines put at their disposal, and the Adamawa region has 8,100 different doses. The East region, 8,300 350. The West region, for example, 14,710. The Northwest region, 11,200 doses of the vaccine that will be administered in the different vaccination centers we outlined yesterday, made available by the Ministry of Public Health. Simply for Cameroonians to adhere, it happens to be one of the key solutions of breaking the contamination chain of the coronavirus. Back to you.
Thanks, Baldwin. The National Gendarmerie Road Safety Task Force says it will not bow to intimidation on the highway, but that it will ensure the respect of the law by all road users, no matter their social status. The forces were along the Yaoundé-Bafoussam Road axis yesterday for their routine road safety campaign. Kylian Dandifon was there.
Yaoundé-Bafia-Makenene National Route Number 4, a senator's car without documents for 2 years, and the approach is a failed attempt to intimidate the Road Safety Task Force. We are not moved by intimidation. The gendarme cannot be afraid of public authorities because he or she is there to make sure that the law is respected. The usual highway offenses are sanctioned, even if sensitization is still a primary option. We notice that there is disrespect for speed limits, overused tires, and failure to wear seat belts. Within a COVID-19 context, education sometimes is not sufficient.
There are some people among you who don't yet understand that you must always move with your face masks, respect social distancing, in short, all COVID-19 barrier measures. For those who do not have face masks, get out of the bus and get your face masks.
There is the spread of COVID-19 to stop, and there is the highway code to respect, and the National Gendarmerie is on the national road axis to ensure the respect of the law.
The first edition of the Sanaga Mapubi Forum for Sama, which aims at encouraging local production for sustainable development, has taken place in Ideya, championed by the CPD member of the National Assembly for Sanaga Maritime, Honorable Marinette Ngo Yetna. The fair witnessed exhibitions from young inventors who will gain financing. Esther Kima has the rest of that story.
Intuitive minds given a push to explore higher horizons and to render the Made in Cameroon brand a transcendent of boundaries, Honorable Marinette Ngo Yetna is the stretch bearer. 1 year into her mandate in Parliament, she backs artisans and handicrafters who make capital of the rich natural deposits in Sanaga Maritime Division. An accompaniment glorified by the Senior Divisional Officer, Cyril Ivan Abondo, as a remedy to poverty and complemented by the lawmakers.
She is promoting Made in Cameroon, something we have been advocating in Parliament. So we like to see good produced in Cameroon, and we consume Cameroon and produce Cameroon. So I want to encourage and thank her for this wonderful opportunity she has given to me. I've seen what is being produced here in Sanaga Maritime, and we shall follow examples in other parts of the country so that we help encourage our entrepreneurs in Cameroon. Because when we consume and produce in Cameroon, the economy will grow.
The over 50 exhibitors who uncovered their innate capacity to create for the delight of the public were awarded prizes by the promoter, Honorable Marinette Ngo Yetna, as an impulse for finer productions next year.
The Bamenda 2 Council has developed a plan to sustainably manage solid waste in the council area. The mayor, Peter Chenui, says his council intends to work with foreign partners to recycle rampant waste. Insecurity in the municipality has prevented the council from securing a proper dump site for waste. Eric Langme Wufor has the rest of that story from Bamenda.
They are preoccupied with waste management concerns in Bamenda 2 municipality. The council has been hampered by the absence of a proper dump site of its municipal waste. To solve this problem, the council has worked out a plan to reduce, reuse and recycle waste in the municipality.
Most of the dump sites are in far off the town, so these vehicles cannot go there because this is where you find these terrorists.
So the few vehicles, we have very old vehicles that can penetrate to go to those areas. We are in partnership with other councils abroad to meet other councils to do exchange, to so we can do waste management, to recycle waste to use. So we are in that process.
There are also concerns of insecurity that has slowed down the implementation of development projects in the council area. Yet they have called on the population to join in the effort to bring back peace in the area by talking those still in the bushes to lay down their weapons.
The motto remains of the regional delegate for the economy, planning and regional development for the West region, Louis Roger Saish Matthias Fankam Jumisi, have been laid to rest in his native Bapa in the Upper Plateau Division. The Minister of the Economy was represented at the funeral alongside other dignitaries. Kelvin Nembo reports from Bafoussam.
The funeral ceremony started with a special mass session at the St. Luke Catholic Church, Bapa, same venue, where the late regional delegate for the economy, planning and regional development in 2017 organized a similar mass for his mom, another one in 2018 when his father died. In attendance was the representative of the Minister of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development, West Governor Awa Fonga Augustine, a host of dignitaries, his colleagues, his spouse and children, alongside family members and friends. Difficult for the mourners to bid goodbye to the man they have all described as a fervent Christian, a unifier, one who works so hard with development actors to seek ways to better foster the decentralization process for the welfare of citizens. Born in Douala in 1966, the father of four, who had a slogan, "Work, work, work," passed on last March 15 after a brief illness at the Mbo Banjun Protestant Hospital.
Let's move now on to sports. Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcis Mwalikambi will tomorrow Monday preside over the inauguration and retrocession ceremony of the Ngaoundéré Paku Vita built by the Military Engineering Corps. Ahead of the event, Ellis Waji Banmia reports that sports enthusiasts have been praising the new infrastructure and saying that it will improve their living conditions. His report.
Before now, many sports lovers in Ngaoundéré had to manage the Lone Dumbe Omar Stadium or practice different sports activities along the roadside, which usually led to accidents. For this reason, many have praised the construction of the Ngaoundéré Paku Vita.
With regards to dancing as a sports discipline, the Parkour Vita will permit all dancers to easily perform their activity.
The Parkour Vita has a lot of space, which is just what we need for traditional wrestling. There is handy space, and we shall make good use, especially in organizing fighting competitions.
Realized by the Military Engineering Corps upon instructions from the head of state, the Ngaoundéré Paku Vita is a vast rocky landscape of 40 hectares. It has team sports playgrounds, parking lots, a police post, among several other compartments, plus a security fence of 3,500 meters long. Works on the structure started in January 2017. The project's fourth of its kind to be realized in Cameroon is now complete, and Minister Narcis Mwalikambi of Sports and Physical Education is currently in the town for the inauguration and retrocession of the complex this Monday, April 19.
It's with that report from Ngaoundéré that will come to the end of the 7:30 news on CRTV. The next news is coming up in exactly 30 minutes with Atta Badiru Ma. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.